So I wanted to make a video talking about the announcements and trailers from the Game Awards in 2023, like I did last year, but as the show went on, it became clear that I needed to speak about something a little more important. I was watching the recording of TGA because it aired from about 1:30 a.m. my time on a weekday, and your girl has a job. I wrote down my conclusions afterwards, and then I took to social media to see what other people thought about it, and I found that I wasn't alone. So let's talk about it. To be clear, I'm just a humble gamer. I don't develop video games, I'm not involved in the process, but I'm just really passionate about video games. I love talking about them, I love showing other people amazing video games, and I love how they can make you feel. And this video is also not an in-depth discussion uncovering everything wrong with TGA, the extent of the issues in the gaming industry, and all the reasons why the TGA is ignoring that. This is just a summary of my thoughts, and it's also the first time I've done something like this. If you have any questions or want to talk about this year's TGA, then it's probably best to have that discussion with those directly affected by it. So for this video, I'm still going to talk about some game announcements that I was really hyped for, but first, we gotta address the elephant in the room. If you've been hanging around social media, devs and gamers alike have been speaking out about the format of TGA this year. And it's not for trivial reasons either. For a lot of the case, it's been the amount of runtime given to celebrities versus the very short time given to devs that actually won an award. It was the insensitivity of not addressing layoffs this year. It was how clearly TGA was clamoring for validation from Hollywood to the detriment of the industry that they should be celebrating. First, let's just talk about the sheer amount of trailers and celebrity fluff at TGA 2023 versus the time given to the winners' acceptance speeches. Is this the Game Awards, or is it trailer and announcements galore with some awards sprinkled in? This is especially worrying after so many devs were laid off from multiple studios this year in the indie and AAA gaming space. If you missed it, over 7,000 people were laid off this year. And surely the TGA could show a little sensitivity and celebrate that we got these glorious games out in the first place, and this has been a difficult year for the gaming industry. I suppose it doesn't look good to the rest of the world, so it's best to just leave it out. But TGA has this amazing opportunity to highlight and celebrate all the different teams that make a video game: sound design, score and music, community support. None of these teams were properly recognized. Also, rather big awards like Best RPG, Best Independent Game, and Best Art Direction, to name just a few, they weren't given more than a second to congratulate the winners before moving to the next world premiere or celebrity appearance. And that brings me on to timing. TGA 2023 had around about a 3-hour runtime, not including the pre-show, which ran for 30 minutes. Apparently of those 3 hours, the musical numbers, of which all were great, was given about 13.5 minutes, the award presenters were given 26.5 minutes, other presenters took up 42.5 minutes, and trailers or ads took up the majority of the show with 1 hour and 28 minutes. So how much time did the winners' acceptance speeches take in the show that's supposed to be focused on giving out awards to the best games of 2023? 10 minutes. 10 minutes out of a 3-hour show that was mostly trailers and celebrities. If it's a case of, oh, it's a schlep to bring them all up on stage and coordinate them, then I'd rather have that than just rushing through them all to have more time for the endless bombardment of trailers. More time was given to stars like Anthony Mackie just to riff with the audience, or Hideo Kojima to talk about a teaser trailer that doesn't really show much. Meanwhile, the winners of the Game of the Year, arguably the headliner event, something that everyone has been waiting for 3.5 hours, and has been a hot topic of discussion since the beginning of 2023, were only given 30 seconds for their acceptance speech. The head of Larian Studios, Sven Vinke, got dressed up in his signature full armor and didn't even get to showcase it properly, never mind bring attention to the whole team that managed to make a D&D game accessible to a wide variety of players who wouldn't even touch the game in other conditions. Larian took 6 years to develop Baldur's Gate 3, through COVID and losing members of the team, the most recent of which was just last month. The acceptance speech, as brief as it was, went into how they would like to dedicate the award to their loved ones that they lost and how much they went through, while the rest of the team was in absolute tears in the audience. And only to be told to please wrap it up by the teleprompter because they just went through their allotted 30 minutes. The music was starting and the show was not having another 7-minute long acceptance speech like last year. TGA doesn't care, it just needs to end this bloated show. I feel like TGA has let down the developers who have put so much love and effort into these amazing games just to be dismissed like this in favor of celebrity appearances and trailers that honestly don't show much substance. Which brings me to my next point. 31 awards were given out at TGA 2023. There were 13 acceptance speeches, 10 on the main stage and 3 on the small stage, which tallied up to about 12 minutes total. The other awards, of which there were 19, took a total of 4.5 minutes to go through. Meanwhile, there were 75 trailers, announcements, and game updates that were shown, and that took up an hour and a half. Maybe more, and I'm not counting the ads here. I understand that a lot goes into making this kind of production, and perhaps it does need to be funded by money studios have to pay for their games to be showcased at TGA, but it's just become really bloated. And a lot of these trailers are like, yeah, this looks cool, but it only really exists to create a little bit of hype, and I don't see a lot of gameplay or anything about the premise. After seeing so many similar trailers in a row with cool effects and crazy environments, I don't see anything in terms of actual gameplay, so it's hard to feel any real hype without some indication of what the game is going to entail. In 2023 alone, we saw a lot of big games coming out, and some were instant hits, and others were lost in the sauce. The reason a game is the latter is because of uninspiring gameplay amongst decent graphics, but is ultimately just an unoptimized mess with okayish narrative. I also understand that maybe the gameplay isn't ready to be shown, or the HUD isn't finalized yet. But for games coming out in 2024, surely they would have some kind of alpha gameplay they can show us, or a look into the kind of stuff in store for us. Yes, games are becoming more and more a cinematic experience, but a really good game is noted for the stuff you can actually do in it, as well as the game feel and the gameplay. If you think about games like God of War, or Spider-Man, or Baldur's Gate 3, yes, they are great looking games, but also have very good gameplay and narrative, and that's what makes these games shine. Also, we're in a world where a lot of people discover games through content creators, watching them play, experience, and enjoy the game, which is kind of proof that the content of the game matters. So as much as these trailers are cool, they often lack substance, and the sheer amount of trailers at TGA was so overwhelming that most of these announcements were just forgettable. Anyway, speaking of which, let's talk about some of them. So the first game that we have here is Pony Island 2 Panda Circus. It's the new game from the creator of Inscription. So immediately I was like, count me in. The trailer opens up with some lovely Tuvan throat singing, which I really, really loved. And it's just so spooky and mysterious and kooky and all over the show. There's actually so much going on in this trailer. I'm not familiar with Pony Island 1. Apparently it was released in like 2016. Maybe I should, play it before this comes out. But we probably have quite a bit of time because at the end of this trailer, let's see if I can find it. Like look at this. This is so crazy. At the end of this trailer, they've got this cute glitch where it flickers between 2025 and 2026. So they're like, hey, look, I'm not making any kind of guarantees that this is going to be coming out like anytime soon. So yeah, the use of that cute glitch is really cool. Wait, here it is. Yeah, there you go. That's nice. I really like that. And the next game I want to talk about, and these were in the pre-show, is Harmonium, the musical. This looks like an accessible game about a girl who loves to perform, and she's going on this journey to discover her musical self. And there's some beautiful representation of ASL here. This entire trailer just gave me goosebumps. As someone who is like very musical and is kind of precious about their hearing, and music is such like a big part of my life. Seeing something like this in a trailer is really, really stunning, and it's absolutely amazing. I would absolutely cry if I got this game and was able to play it. What's also really cool is that they are making this more accessible by releasing this on subscription services like Netflix and PC Game Pass. So if you have a subscription to this, then you know you can play this. So not only are they saying, okay, cool, my video game is accessible, they're also making the video game accessible to the masses, and like that's incredibly cool. I really, really love the premise of this game, and I can't wait to play it. Okay, and the next game is the new one from the developers of Dead Cells, and we freaking love Dead Cells. And the Dead Cells dev team, they're incredibly small. They're the small production in France, I think. And this is called Windblown, and it looks amazing. I really, really love the use of like blood and gore in this trailer. It's very cool. So yeah, lots of colors and stuff like that. I'm really wondering why there are 3 players. I'm wondering if it's like multiplayer, which would be freaking cool. I love the fact that now it's like this top-down isometric 3D vibe instead of the 2D platformer. So they're kind of, you know, mixing up their genres. It still is a roguelike, it looks like, but I really like it. Like, look at this. Oh man, this is so amazing. This looks really dope. We're having an early access in 2024. I think they're gonna stay in early access for a while. Dead Cells was in early access for a while. So like, you know, these smaller studios, like the developers of Dead Cells and Hades, they like to kind of have their early access to be quite long so that they can get as much player feedback and develop it along with their audience, which creates like a more authentic experience. And yeah, it looks like it's the same with Windblown, and I'm like so freaking excited about this. So another game I'm really excited about is World of Goo 2. So this came out like 15 years ago, and I think it was one of the first indie games I played. And something that struck me about World of Goo is the music. The music of this game is incredibly good. Apparently it was made like in this guy's home. There wasn't like, you know, even proper instruments for it. The voices were just like his friends that he brought along. You know, the drums that you hear is just like cardboard boxes. Anyway, it does sound like that they have these gorgeous musical experiences that they're bringing to World of Goo. Like the levels look cool. Like there's lavas and stuff. There's your wonderful bridge buildingness. Yeah, it just looks really, really interesting. And what is really great about this is that they're bringing World of Goo to a new generation of players, and I really hope that they find as much joy in this game as I did when I first played it. So now we're into the main show, and this is a new trailer from the devs that brought us Untitled Goose Game, called Big Walk. It looks very cute. You've got these little newt creatures, I don't know, going on a big walk and hanging out and chilling and enjoying their time together. They do explicitly say that this is a game for you and your friends, so I think it's just a lovely opportunity to hang out with people, with your friends, and just do cool things, you know, like solve cool puzzles and, you know, do kooky stuff. And there's lots of interaction, and I love the jungle noises right in the beginning. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like different terrains and stuff like that you can explore with your friends. So yeah, I'd be kind of interested to see how they make this game interesting and exciting for you and your friends. And then we have another look at the new Prince of Persia, which looks really cool. I'm a big fan of the Prince of Persia series. I've got all 3 games on PlayStation 2 and PC. Of the original trilogy, and I also played the original they were on like a series of 12 floppy disks. Anyway, this looks cool. We have a little bit of gameplay, which is quite nice. At first I was really skeptical because I didn't really like the cel shaded like cutesy animations, but this does look like they've refined it a little bit more. The prince looks like pretty dope. But, you know, like a lot of these trailers, it's a lot of cinematics. You know, it does give us a sense of the story and stuff like that. But I really wanted to see a little bit more of the gameplay. Anyway, at least we have a release date, and there's a demo coming out on January the 11th, which I will definitely be checking out. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. You know, let's give it a whirl. A lot of people are feeling optimistic about this. Okay, this isn't necessarily new. Lego are doing a collaboration with Fortnite, which I think is absolutely genius. I love the fact that it's in Fortnite itself. It's not like a separate game, so you have to like download Fortnite and get that going. It gets more people onto their game, because I don't necessarily like Fortnite, but I kind of want to play Lego Fortnite because this is freaking cool. Like these two big giants like collaborating together, it's genius. It's such a good idea. It looks awesome. It's got like this cool open world vibe, and like you're making you're crafting things and stuff, and then at night there are like all of these creatures, and you can go to dungeons and you can do a whole bunch of exploring, and yeah, it's really, really amazing. And they also announced a Rocket League collaboration with all of these cool tracks and boosting and stuff like that. I hope that they are like as crazy tracks as they show in the trailer. But yeah, Rocket League, Lego, Fortnite, all kind of joining forces to bring more people to all of these properties is such a genius idea. Like I'm on board with this. This game looks amazing. I had massive goosebumps when I watched this trailer. The first game, I haven't played it because I'm not brave enough, but I watched quite a few playthroughs of it. And the reason why I'm not brave enough is because her depression and her psychosis is very personal, and it's, you know, a little too close to home. So it's actually quite difficult for me to play the game without feeling too like overwhelmed by it. So this new one looks amazing. It looks like we are going through like a new we're following a new path of her life. We're going through a new journey, looking through her psyche at this stage. We don't really have a release date, but it's still coming out in 2024, which I'm really happy about. We're gonna play it day one on Game Pass. It looks amazing. It looks gritty. It looks scary. It looks, I really love it. I love hearing her screams as she's like fighting. She's not all like, you know, tough and like, oh, I'm so cool. You know, she really is. She really is fighting the monsters of her mind. Anyway, I love it. Senua Saga Hellblade 2. There you go. It's great. I really love it. Okay. So at first I thought this was Sea of Thieves, quite obviously, because there's like shipwrecks and stuff, but also the art style looks Sea of Thieves-y, but apparently it's another new ARPG, which I'm really excited about. We don't really have a lot of these. Obviously there's Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 that's coming out. There actually wasn't an announcement for this. That's kind of interesting. And then, you know, Grim Dawn is something that I play fairly often. Obviously Diablo 4 just came out, but yeah, this looks like a really cool new ARPG with a new IP. It looks gorgeous, it looks amazing, and I actually can't wait to see all the masteries and skills that are incorporated in this game. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. It looks really, really cool. So yeah, keen for this one. So yeah, this is Rise of the Ronin. It looks absolutely beautiful. Kind of inspired by, I think, Edo Japan. There's some guns, maybe a little bit of magic. You know, you got your horse riding, you got your rope swinging, you got your gliding. It really does look very cool. Lovely, beautiful action game. Release date is coming out in March, but it's PlayStation exclusive. So I wonder if they're going to be releasing this onto other platforms eventually, or if it's just going to be staying a PlayStation exclusive, like, you know, your Bloodborne or your Ghost of Tsushima. All right, I know I gave Hideo Kojima a little bit of flack earlier in the thing, but I love the guy. I really do. So this is a trailer for his new game called OD. I think this is kind of like a PT game. So PT was a demo for an unreleased Silent Hill that was just like genuinely scary, and it was really well made. And yeah, this is cool, and this is new. He's using this crazy like face capturing technology as well. It looks really cool. They've got like these reflections in their eyes, like you can see it in the final shot here, where you know, you can see like a door opening or whatever. So I really like this. Her scream in this trailer is very cool. I like, my notes for this was like, I was just going absolutely bananas. I've got like a huge paragraph on this. And yeah, I really enjoyed this reveal. I was like, Hideo Kojima has been wanting to do something using the Xbox Cloud for the longest time, and he hasn't been shy about the fact that he has been talking with Xbox Studios, that he's thinking of doing something with Xbox. So this is a culmination of that. We just know that it is a spooky game. We've got like this cool like little reveal, and he's got like, you know, he's got really good drip. You know, he's got this massive brooch of his production companies. If anything, Hideo Kojima is just not subtle. So yeah, he's got this like massive brooch of the production company that he has, the Kojima Studios, and he's doing his usual kind of thing where it's like, this is a new game, but it's also an experience, but it's a new kind of medium, you know, kind of like how Death Stranding was, all of those things as well. And then a little bit later, Jordan Peele comes out through the same door, and we're like, oh, and I'm like, of course Jordan Peele is here. They have also been showing that they've been collaborating through the year, so this is something that has been a long time in the making. Oh, like, he looks so delighted, like, look at him. Anyway, but say what you want about Kojima. A lot of people hate him, and that's okay. I really like what he does for the gaming industry. He's not afraid to do like new things. He's not afraid to push the boundaries, and I feel that's incredibly admirable. Even if what eventually he comes out is something that is kooky and you know, is a little bit weird, and you don't, you know, quite understand it. Death Stranding felt like an experience. It felt like an art movie, but it was also a game, but it also felt like you were spending time with Hideo Kojima and like exploring his thought process and stuff like that. So anyway, as usual, he doesn't reveal too much about the game, and I think that he wants to have the game and the gameplay and the themes and everything be revealed to the player as they're playing the game. So I don't think that he's going to be releasing any explicit trailers anytime soon. Okay, and then the next thing is we got a Jurassic Park game, which is cool and interesting. It would be cool, but it could also be derivative. The voice actor here and the click of the walkie-talkie made me think that this was like a Tomb Raider crossover, because it sounds incredibly similar. But you know, like, they show a little bit of representation here. They have a lot of the, you know, a lot of the scenes or the things from the previous Jurassic Park movies. So this could be derivative and crap, but it could also be incredibly fun. And if it's fun, then it really won't matter. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what kind of experience that Jurassic Park can give us. Let's not discount it yet. And then we have another trailer of Black Myth Wukong. It looks really amazing. I love the use of Chinese mythology as well. All the mythological creatures and environments. It's just incredibly cool, incredibly well detailed. Hang on, let me just skip forward a little bit here. Yeah, it's lovely to see an update. Like, look at this. It's just, oh man, this just looks really cool. I'm wondering if it, in terms of gameplay, if it's going to be a Souls-like or if it's going to be more action-y. You know, it's kind of difficult to tell, but I'm really keen for this one. And it comes out, we have a release date. It's coming out of my birthday month, which is really cool, August the 20th, I think. And it's going to be available on all platforms. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Like, look at that. Man, that looks cool. And then we have Tale of Kenzera Zhao. And this trailer was preceded by a very heartfelt speech by Abubakar Salim, and he took the audience through how he lost his father and how this game helped him to process his grief. And it was like, I was moved to tears. And you know, we do have like a lot of gameplay in this, and it looks very cool. It's really nice to see a different kind of culture and vibe brought to the 2D platformer fighting space. I'm really excited about it. It looks lovely. It looks super colorful. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this. Also, the music feels inspired by Wakanda, which is, you know, not a bad thing at all. It's coming out in April on all platforms. Like, hooray, let's do it. And then straight after this, we've got Life is Strange. It shows its cards early, other than the fact that it says it's Life is Strange, but you know, it has a femme-led cast. You know, it's got music, it's got some really good representation, it's got, you know, the teenager vibes and how they're like finding something. So kind of set in the 90s. I think it's also kind of set now. It's a little bit of like found footage vibes. And yeah, I'd be interested to see what they make of it, if there's going to be another like supernatural element to it. It kind of seems like it is, from this like crazy purple light that is, or purple pink light that is coming from this thing. So yeah, it looks like a very interesting story, and let's see where it goes. Oh man, it's so beautiful. And then we get this new IP, the first Berzerker Khazan. Yeah, it looks very cool. Lots of shadows and blood. They also have this like weird cell shading in their characters that you can see here. And the animation, or at least the characters, look a little bit like Tales of Berseria. And Tales of Berseria was a very kind of bloody and mature look at the series. This looks incredibly cool. It looks like an action game. I think it's more God of War action than Souls-like action. So yeah, it looks kind of cool. Oh, it also gives me a vibe of Prince of Persia 2 Thrones, you know, that dark gritty phase that Prince of Persia went through. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. Let's see where it goes, you know. Let's see what happens when it comes out. And then we have a freaking Final Fantasy, you know, look. I think this is the play that Aerith and Cloud can put on in the Gold Saucer. We get a look at Vincent. We get a look at we get a full frontal look at we get a full frontal look at Vincent. We also get a look at Sid. And Sid, oh my gosh, like Sid is actually one of my favorite ones. Look at the girls having fun. Look at Sid! He looks great! He looks wonderful! And Yuffie is like really excited. There's this beautiful ballad that Nobuo Uematsu has created for this, you know, for this game. And it's really beautiful, because also like this might be, you know, the game where something crazy happens to Aerith. I'm not gonna spoil it in case people didn't play the original game, but yeah, created some really good hype. This was a really beautiful performance. Yeah, I really want to play this game. I'm so excited. And speaking of excited, so this game, I was like, cool. This is from the Dishonored devs. There's like this dystopian kind of future. this kind of looks a little bit realistic, right? You know, it looks incredibly promising. And then we have this picture of this live stream. You see the Eiffel Tower. I'm like, oh, it's in France. Excuse me? Like, we're getting some real world things. And then you see the vampire fangs, and I'm like, this looks like Blade. And then the title screen comes, and I'm like, it's fucking Blade. What the hell? This is so cool. I'm so super excited about this one. They also said that this game will be third person, which is very different from Arcane's, I think it's Arcane Leon's usual kind of thing. So, you know, Deathloop and Prey and Dishonored were all first person, and this is third person. It's Blade. It looks so cool. Oh my word, I'm really excited to see what they can do with it. So yeah, this was a really cool announcement. And then Alan Wake 2 has this beautiful performance from the old Gods of Asgard, which was a band in the game, and there was like this crazy sequence in Alan Wake 2 where they've got like all these dancers, and you got the actor for Alan Wake. And what makes this incredibly effective is that the game itself changes between like IRL or like real world, you know, recordings and like actual gameplay, still using the same actors and stuff like that. So this still feels like it's in the world of Alan Wake, and you see this band like going crazy and doing all these performances, and the dance number is great, and it's super delightful. It works so well in the context, and I really enjoy this. And then you have those other two that they do come in and they join in the dance and stuff like that. If you haven't played Alan Wake 2, you totally should. It won a whole bunch of awards, and rightly so. So yeah, absolutely worth a thing. And this is incredibly this is great. So the developer for No Man's Sky is coming out with this procedurally generated Earth. He's like, cool, let's like size down from No Man's Land. I'm going to create Earth. Like the whole thing. And yeah, in-game multiplayer, they do show a HUD and things like that. It seems to kind of bring on a lot of survival, like adventure survival aspects of other games, like Ark and stuff like that, where you know, you can build your thing and gather resources and ride these big kind of creatures and birds and stuff like that. It looks great and amazing, but like, again, this is a huge thing. And usually what happens with these big open world multiplayer games is that like on release, it's just riddled with bugs. And especially if the production cycle is too rushed, and then, you know, then there's crunch, and then, you know, layoffs and things like that. So this looks great, but I'm naturally skeptical because, you know, of where the gaming industry is these days. And, you know, I know this is from the same guy who made No Man's Sky, and he has absolutely redeemed himself since the very troubled release like all those years ago. But I'm still super skeptical. But, you know, it looks great. And you can play as a bunny creature. Like, how cool is that? I love that. But, yeah, that was it. Some controversy, some really cool announcements, and more video games for us to talk about. So, until next time.